Welcome, Mr. and Mrs. Crowley. My name is Kevin Raabe, and I'll be going over a few of the questions that y'all have about y'all financial plan. So the first question I was informed y'all had was y'all would like recommendations on approaches to get out of debt, and y'all stated that all options are on the table. So I put together 3 separate plans, one that's highly aggressive, one that's mildly aggressive, and then one that I felt was very manageable and slightly aggressive. The key to know about all of these plans is they're all 3 going to use the power payment approach. By power payment, what I'm referring to is we're going to try to fix the amount of debt cost over the X amount of years in which you would like to pay it off. So this means as one debt becomes paid off, that amount of payment that you've been paying on that debt will then be applied to the next highest interest. Why we chose the highest interest is the interest rate is the cost that the debt has to you. If we attack the highest interest rates first, we are hoping to reduce the amount of money the debt costs you. So the first plan is, if you refer to this table, it's just using the basic power payment approach. And as you can see from this table, that if you were just to make the minimum payments, it would take you 22 years and 8 months to pay it off. But we're able to reduce that by almost 10 years and 4 months. So in this method, what we would do is continue to make the minimum payments to all the loans, and once one of them pays off, then we would apply it to the next highest interest rate. The second approach is the most aggressive of them, and what we would try to achieve is try to go through your personal expenses and see if we can reduce them by a maximum of about 10%. And then this extra 10% would be actually applied to debt payment. With this approach, we would be able to reduce the payoff time for you to pay off your debt from 22 years and 8 months to 9 years and 7 months, or a reduction of 13 years and 1 month. And this would save you $112,703 over the course of the time to pay off the debt. The last approach that I recommend, that I am recommending, is to try to cut personal expenses by only 5% and then apply that extra 5% to your debt payment. This would reduce your payoff time by 11 years and 11 months, almost 12 years, and save you about $97,973. With this approach, I feel it's a little more manageable because it doesn't affect it only slightly affects your current living status, but it also achieves the same result of paying off your debt in a quicker amount of time. The next question I heard, or that y'all had, was y'all wanted like me to explain your auto policy. Your current auto policy is $50,000, $100,000, $50,000 for liability and a $500 deductible. So if we were to break these numbers down, the first $50,000 is the amount of coverage per person per accident. The $100,000 is the maximum claim you could have per accident. So, for example, the $50,000. Let's say if you had 2 people in there, the most medical coverage that they would have, or coverage they would have, would be up to $50,000. And then with those summed together, you have $100,000 max per accident. The last $50,000 is property damage that is covered under your policy. you're covered up to $50,000 of property damage. This is all fully covered following your $500 deductible being made. The last, in reference to your home policy is covered 100% of actual cash value. By the meaning of actual cash value, as whatever the value of your home on the day of the event, it will be covered up to 100%. So as your home is appreciating, the cash value of it, or the amount of coverage that your home is entitled to, will also increase. And then for your property, you have replacement cost coverage. Just for personal property, this is a good plan because it allows for you to replace any of your items for a liked item with the actual value of today's market. The last question y'all had was, I heard y'all may have a settlement of receiving $800,000, and y'all were worried about bank failure and what kind of protections are within the banking system, in most references in FDIC. So FDIC will cover up to $250,000 or insure up to $250,000 per banking industry, per account, per bank. So my recommendation is, if you were to receive this $800,000, I would actually open up 4 separate accounts and have the accounts to where they are not over the $250,000 insured limit. Total coverage for any person can be $1 million. So if they're in 4 separate accounts, all of your money should be covered by the FDIC in case of bank failure. I hope this answered all your questions, and if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you. Bye.